So now we'll do forearm. Forearm technique is the same. Same? I don't know. Look on my cheat sheet.
70 at 2.
That's elbow. Is it the same for forearm? I'm not gonna.
I thought it was
Wrist might be
wrist was the same
75.
as hand, but I think maybe forearm goes up to what the elbow is.
You guys are right. It's 70 at 2. Okay. All right. So 70 at 2 forearm. Same thing. At wrist, forearm, elbow. All anatomy has to be in the same plane, meaning these 3 joints. So I'm gonna have her slouch again. Forearm. Remember, biggest mistake is people do it PA. That is not correct, because what's going to happen to the bones of the forearm?
So radius is crossing over the ulna.
Yep. And radius and ulna are long bones, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So anytime you have a long bone, what do you have to include?
The joints above and below it.
Correct. So you're going to turn your arm over and kind of put your palm out. Good. So you've got wrist here. Wrist here. Sorry, I know you can't probably see that on there, but before I center everything, I just want you to see you've got elbow and wrist. So you're going to go in the middle, but really what I'm looking at is kind of looking at the light beyond the 2 and trying to get that about in the center. Okay. Arm out. It does say that sometimes now with her it's not the case. Sit up, like not up, but yeah. Some people, when they put their arm out, that's what you get, and that's not AP, correct? Mm-hmm. So it says sometimes you have to lean them back a little bit in order to get that to lay flat. So, but hers is really good like that. All right, so elbow, wrist, middle. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. And I mean, I don't have to literally touch her to see that. I just kind of was looking, okay, here's the elbow. But sometimes it's hard to see where the elbow is. You can tell by the little dip underneath, too. Elbow, wrist, halfway in between. And then just make sure that's nice and flat. Marker still goes lateral to the part. Now, the other thing I didn't say yet, are you okay for a minute?
Yeah, I'm good.
So far, fingers, hand, and wrist all hang fingers up. Okay? Forearm hangs fingers up as well. So that's why the marker has been this way each time. I didn't really say that, but these are going to hang so the fingers are up as well. Okay? Eventually, we're going to switch things up a little bit, but these hang fingers up. So that actually looks good. Just like that. We've got past both joints and we've included both joints. And I'm just going to pull that up a little bit. Good. And you guys were right. It's 70 kVp at 2 on small focal spot. All right, just like that. Deep. Long axis of the part is running with the long axis of the film. And on this next one, we're going to bend her arm. So I'm going to have you bend your elbow for me. Okay. And kind of turn that with her. So this is the long axis of the part. This is the long axis of the IR. So if you turn it, when the patient turns, then it kind of keeps everything in line. Okay, so good. We're going to make sure, we're going to look in a second, make sure we've got a 90-degree angle there. We're going to make wrist and hand lateral as well. And you've got to go below wrist and above elbow, meaning you have to get distal portion of the humerus. So mid forearm, elbow, this one's a little harder, elbow, wrist, halfway in between the 2. Okay, could go back just a smidge, but I can't. I'm back all the way that way, so I want to bring your arm forward just a little bit.
Okay.
And you don't want to, you got to be careful if you come in, like if you go, oh, I don't need all that, and you do that, then you start to clip elbow. So you've got to keep it open so you have light beyond that. And you don't want to come too tight this way because then you'll cut off this portion of the elbow. Okay. So it's a little more open than what you probably would think you need, but that's on purpose so that you don't clip any anatomy. So hand lateral, wrist lateral, elbow 90-degree angle. She's shielded, same technique. She would hold still just like that. Good. Huge hand relax. Does that make sense? Biggest mistake. This is classic. Students put their arm lateral and leave their hand like that. What's going to happen? These are not going to be superimposed, correct?
Are they
Ready?
They are gonna be
across?
Across.
Oh, okay.
Wait, as opposed to
You
doing
want them
what?
superimposed.
Well, they're not going to be superimposed like
They're
that.
just gonna be
Oh,
crossed.
They're not going to be on
oh,
top
gotcha.
of each other. They're going to be
So you're saying having
side by side.
You're saying having them karate chops then?
You have to.
Yeah.
That's not all that is the elbow lateral, but not even really because you're still pulling the radius and ulna. So everything has to be lateral. The radius and ulna will not be on top of each other. If her hand is like that, they'll be like this.
Mhm.
Does that make sense?
Right.
So straight out for the AP and lateral, everything's lateral. Two biggest mistakes I see in comps. You're good.